welcome. I want to be honest with you from the very first word. This is not one of those videos that gives you 5 tips and disappears. This is not a 10-minute boost of motivation that fades by tomorrow. This is something different, something deeper. Because what we're talking about today is the difference between a life that breaks you and a life that builds you. A life full of peace or a life full of pain. You see, we live in a world that's constantly pulling at your emotions. People insult you, not because they're right, but because they want to see if you'll break. They ignore you, not because they forgot, but because they want to watch you fall apart. They lie, twist, provoke, not because you deserve it, but because your reaction feeds them. And most people, they react. Fast, loud, emotional. They fight back. They lose their temper. They say something they can't take back. And without even realizing it, they hand over the most powerful thing they own. Their peace, their control, their power. Let me ask you something. How many moments in your life have been destroyed by a reaction you couldn't control? That one message you wish you never sent. That one argument that ended something bad. That one moment of anger that changed everything. What if you could take all of that back? What if you could train yourself to stay calm, no matter what the world throws at you? Not numb, not fake, but calm, clear, untouchable. That's what this video is about. Not just motivation, not just good advice. This is a skill, a mindset, a way of living that separates the powerful from the powerless. And if you truly listen, not only will your peace return, you will become the kind of person that chaos can't touch. And here's the best part. As you learn this mindset, you're also building powerful English. Every sentence in this video is clear, simple, and strong. It's not just about speaking better. It's about thinking better. So let's begin. Because once you understand what I'm about to show you, you won't just survive the world. You'll move through it like a storm that cannot be shaken.
There's a simple rule most people never learn. If someone can control your reaction, they control you. Think about it. If a stranger can say one sentence and suddenly your mood is ruined, your day is off track, and your mind is filled with anger, you're not in control anymore. They are. You're like a puppet, and your emotions, those are the strings. Most people think reacting fast makes them strong, but reacting fast aren't strength, they're vulnerability. Because the truth is, anything that can be triggered can be controlled. And every time you react without thinking, you give something away. Your peace, your energy, your power. Let's be honest. How many times have you said something in anger and then regretted it the second it left your mouth? How many times have you sent that message, started that fight, raised your voice, and then spent hours wishing you could take it back? That's the cost of reacting. You don't lose because of what they did. You lose because of how you responded. Let me tell you a true story. There was once a young man who worked in an office. He was kind, focused, and loyal. He stayed late, he helped others, he followed every rule. But one day, during a team meeting, his manager publicly criticized him. It wasn't fair. It wasn't even true. And in that moment, something inside him snapped. He stood up, he shouted, he defended himself in front of everyone. The room went silent. The manager? Calm, unbothered. He walked out, but the young man, he didn't walk out with respect. He walked out with a new label, the emotional one. Not the hard-working one, not the smart one, not the dependable one. In just one reaction, he lost the image he spent years building. Why? Because he let someone else decide how he felt. He gave away control. And here's the part most people miss. You don't win by reacting. You win by not reacting. You win by staying in control when they expect you to explode. So what's the solution? It's simple, and it only takes 5 seconds.
There's something painful that happens to all of us. We don't regret the moment. We regret how we reacted to it. We replay it in our minds over and over. The message we should have never sent. The argument we should have walked away from. The words we wish we could delete. But we can't. Because once a reaction is made, it lives. Words don't vanish, actions don't rewind, and sometimes people don't forgive. And here's the heartbreaking truth. You don't carry the insult they gave you. You carry the way you responded to it. You don't carry the problem. You carry the reaction. And that's what eats at you at night. People think reacting quickly makes them honest. That if they yell back, snap, shout, it means they're real. But the truth is, fast reactions don't come from power. They come from pain, from fear, from wounds that never healed. We shout when we feel small. We blame when we feel weak. We fight when we feel hurt. But when the moment ends, all that's left is the guilt, the shame, the regret, the wish that we had just stayed quiet. Let me tell you a story. There was once a woman who loved her younger sister more than anything. They were close, like best friends. But one day, at a family gathering, her sister made a sarcastic comment. It touched an old wound, something buried deep, and in that moment, the woman exploded. She shouted, she said things she didn't mean, she humiliated her sister in front of everyone. And then, silence. The sister walked out. Days passed, then weeks. But the relationship never healed. Years later, that woman would look at a photo of the two of them, smiling, younger, happy, and cry. Not because of what her sister said, but because of what she said back. One moment, one reaction, a lifetime of regret. So what's the lesson? You don't just need emotional control. You need emotional awareness. And here's how it starts. Train yourself to respond, not react. This isn't just a tip. It's a mindset, a daily practice, a discipline. The next time something hurts you, someone disrespects you, ignores you, lies to you, you'll feel the heat rise. But instead of moving, pause. In your mind, repeat one sentence. This emotion is real, but my reaction is a choice. You can feel anger. You can feel sadness. You can feel fear, but don't act on it right away. Let the feeling rise. Sit with it in silence and ask yourself, am I reacting to this moment or to something old that still lives in me? Wait 10 minutes. Wait an hour if you need to. And then, and only then, respond. Respond with truth, with calm, with strength. This one habit can save your peace. It can save your relationships. It can save your future. Because reacting might feel strong for a moment, but peace never creates regret. In a world that never stops talking, silence feels uncomfortable, even weak. But let me tell you something most people will never understand. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. People are loud when they feel insecure. They argue when they feel small. They explain, defend, justify, not to be understood, but to be seen, to feel important. But the strongest people, they're not loud. They're calm, quiet, focused, because they don't need to prove anything to anyone. Silence is misunderstood. People think if you walk away from an argument, you're afraid. If you don't respond,
you've lost. But that's not true. It takes more power to stay calm than to shout, more wisdom to stay quiet than to argue, more strength to walk away than to fight. Because silence isn't passive, it's calculated, it's control. When you stay silent, people don't know what you're thinking. They don't know if you're hurt or if you've already won. And that mystery, that stillness, that calm is terrifying to the people who thrive on chaos. Let me tell you a story. There was a man. His former friend betrayed him badly. Screenshots were twisted, stories were faked, and lies about him spread all over social media. He was attacked publicly, called names, humiliated, accused. Everyone waited for his response. They expected him to go live, post receipts, fight back, but he didn't. He said nothing. People called him a coward, weak, guilty, but he stayed silent. 6 months later, the truth came out. The friend who lied, exposed. Someone else brought the truth to light. And the man who stayed quiet, he was now seen as wise, as strong, as dignified. Because while others were screaming, he was winning, quietly. That's the power of silence. So what's the lesson? Use silence as a weapon, not a weakness. You don't need to respond to every insult. You don't need to explain yourself to people who already made up their minds. You don't need to fight every battle with words. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing. Here's how silence becomes strength. In conflict, say, "I understand," then walk away. In drama, don't join the noise, step back. Let truth rise on its own. In disrespect, don't yell, don't cry, don't explain. Just look them in the eyes and stay silent. Because silence makes people wonder. And in that wondering, you hold your power. Remember, anyone can talk. Anyone can shout. Anyone can argue. But the one who stays calm, the one who doesn't need the last word, the one who can stay silent when the world is screaming, that person doesn't just win the moment, they win everything.
You wake up every day with a limited battery. Time, focus, patience, they all drain as the hours go by. And the truth is, most people waste their energy on things that don't matter, things that don't change anything, things that only leave them feeling worse. Someone cuts them off in traffic, they shout. A stranger comments something rude, they argue. They hear gossip, they react. They see drama, they dive in. They spend their whole day fighting battles that don't matter, with people they don't respect, over things they won't even remember next week. And then they wonder why they're tired, anxious, burned out. Here's the truth. You can't control the world, but you can control your energy. And once you realize that, life becomes simple. You stop attending every argument you're invited to. You stop defending yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't even respect you. Because the moment you stop giving energy to nonsense, you start building peace. Let me tell you something personal. There was a girl who used to respond to everything. Someone made a comment, she clapped back. Someone posted a vague tweet, she assumed it was about her. Someone disagreed, she had to be right. She was always drained, always angry, always in some kind of conflict. Until one day, she made a choice. A simple rule. If it costs my peace, it's too expensive. She started muting people, ignoring drama, letting things slide. At first, it felt unnatural, like she was losing. But then she noticed something. She was calmer. She had more time. Her focus returned.
Her confidence grew because she was no longer wasting her fire on people who only brought smoke. So here's the lesson. Not everything deserves your energy. It's not weakness to walk away. It's not losing to ignore disrespect. It's not your job to fix every lie, respond to every hater, or fight every battle. Save your energy for the things that build you, your goals, your peace, your future. Because the people who win in life aren't the ones who fight the most. They're the ones who master the art of letting go. So the next time someone tries to pull you into a battle, ask yourself, is this worth my energy? If the answer is no, walk away. Not out of fear, but out of power. Have you noticed something? The loudest people are usually the weakest. They brag, they threaten, they gossip, they scream to prove they're strong. But real strength, it's quiet. The ones who are truly powerful don't raise their voice. They don't need to. Their presence speaks louder than words ever could. Think of the people you truly respect, the ones who walk in a room and everything changes. They don't come in swinging or shouting. They observe, they listen, they speak with calm, and when they do, everyone listens, because calm confidence is stronger than loud insecurity. Let me give you an example. There was a man who worked in silence. He didn't post about his goals. He didn't clap back at the people who doubted him. He just showed up every single day and put in the work. People mocked him. People questioned him. Some even laughed at him behind his back. But he never responded. He just kept building. And one day, while they were still talking, he was already winning. That's the thing about quiet strength. It's patient. It's focused. It lets success make the noise. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to post every move, answer every insult, or explain your path. Because the more solid you become on the inside, the less you need to shout on the outside. Here's the truth. Lions don't need to roar to remind you they're dangerous, and neither do you. So the next time someone tries to trigger you, remember this. Don't react just to prove a point. Don't respond just to look strong. Don't let noise pull you out of character. Stay calm. Stay focused. Stay silent when silence is power. Because the real ones, they don't shout. They move, and the world watches.
Some people think peace just happens. The calm is something you stumble into. After success, after money, after life gets easier. But that's a lie. Peace isn't a reward. It's a skill, a daily discipline, a conscious choice. And if you don't learn how to protect it, the world will steal it from you. One rude message, one toxic phone call, 1 hour on social media, and suddenly your mood's gone, your mind's racing, and you don't even know why you're angry. That's how it works. Your peace is fragile until you train it. So what does that look like? It's saying no without guilt. It's walking away without drama. It's choosing silence when you know your words would only pour gasoline on the fire. It's realizing that peace isn't just avoiding stress. It's learning how not to let the stress enter you. There's a story of a man who had everything going wrong. Job loss, family conflict, health issues. But still, every day, people saw him smiling. When asked how he stays so calm, he said, "I stopped letting other people control my emotional thermostat. I can't stop the weather, but I can carry an umbrella." That's peace. Not perfection, not pretending everything is fine, but power. Power over your reactions, power over your time, power over who gets access to your mind. And here's what most people don't realize. Every time you answer a call that drains you, every time you chase an argument online, every time you scroll through someone else's chaos, you're training yourself to lose peace. But every time you pause before reacting, every time you shut the door on drama, Every time you walk away with grace, you're training a different muscle, a stronger one, a peaceful one. So no, peace isn't luck. It's not some magical life that only enlightened people get. It's a daily workout. And every day, you get the choice. Will I train peace, or will I train chaos?
Most people live loud and still feel empty. They shout online, beg for attention, chase every trend. But deep down, they're lost, exhausted, drowning in noise. And here's the hardest truth. The loudest life isn't always the fullest. The quiet ones, the disciplined ones, they're the ones who build something real. They don't need to prove they're strong, because they are. They don't fight every battle, because they've learned which ones actually matter. They don't perform for the crowd, because they've found peace in silence. And that kind of life, it doesn't just look good, it feels good. It's the power of waking up without chaos in your chest. It's the strength of not reacting to every insult. It's the freedom of knowing you don't owe anyone your energy. You've seen the world's version of strength, the shouting, the flexing, the drama. But now you know better. Real power isn't noise. It's control. Control over your thoughts. Control over your emotions. Control over the energy you allow into your world. So from this moment forward, you don't need to fight every time you're tested. You don't need to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them rage. You stay calm. You stay clear. You stay powerful, quietly. Because the ones who change the world aren't always the ones shouting. Sometimes, they're the ones who simply refuse to be moved.
From now on, remember this. Your power grows every time you choose calm over chaos. Every time you protect your peace instead of reacting. Every time you rise above the noise instead of getting lost in it. You're not here to survive the storms. You're here to become the calm in the storm. If you found this video helpful, make sure to stay with me, because in the next video, we're diving deep into a modern danger that steals your focus and destroys your dreams. How social media destroys your dream. Don't let another day slip away trapped in the noise. Click now and learn how to take back control of your mind and your future. Stay strong, stay silent, stay free.